45-game champ himself, Todd Goldstein. Welcome, team. You both saw the Tigers against Box Hill last week. Geordie, the Tigers very brave to only go down by 1 point with 0 AFL-listed players, but they've got 4 today, including that man, Tom Sims.
That's it. Tom Sims returned from a pretty gruesome elbow injury at the end of last year and a foot injury that kept him out until this point, and he's joined back in the team by Samson Ryan, Liam Fawcett and Caleb Smith. They're in the ins for today.
Big ins for the Tigers. From an Essendon perspective, Todd, last night it was a tough night on the injury front for Essendon, and that's had a domino effect into selection for today. We were expecting Elijah Sardis and Will Setterfield to play. That's not going to be the case, so the midfield mix will change.
Yeah, obviously with 2 experienced midfielders coming out of the side and being managed for next week, you'll see Xavier O'Neill, the captain, go from half back. He'll come back into the middle, along with the vice-captain Jackson Haitley will be the mainstays in there.
Time to introduce the 4th member of our commentary team. It's a big good morning to Drew Jones. Hello, Drewser.
Morning, Ben, Geordie and Todd. Beautiful conditions here at Windy Hill. A little chilly, 11 degrees, top of 17 today. Still a bit of dew on the ground, so slippery conditions early in this one. This game was actually supposed to be in Port Melbourne at the Borough as a Richmond home game, but unfortunately the ground wasn't ready to go, so they've come out to Windy Hill, which is great for the Bombers. Now they'll play 3 home games in a row. You guys touched on that really gutsy performance by the Tigers in the VFL last week, and they were really flat after the game. They felt they should have won. They're particularly annoyed with the umpiring decision late, which handed Jack Dalton that match-winning goal. We'll see passion again from Jack Madgen on the sidelines, their coach, no doubt.
Thanks very much, Drew. Looking forward to your contributions right throughout the game. Early free kick for holding the ball, going the way of the Tigers, and it's with Harry Scott, one of their gun midfielders. He'll get the first inside 50 of the game. Big fly over the top from Yassine, but Sellers at the back. 3 bites at the Sherrin. No clean mark for him. And it will be a ball up inside the Richmond forward arc. So the Bombers 3 and 4 heading into today's game. The Tigers 2 and 5, 16th and 17th respectively on the ladder. Loftus got the hand pass away. Scott another disposal. Smith in for the Tigers. Was he held without the ball? Umpire said push in the back nonetheless. Free kick coming back here to Caleb Smith. Pick 49 back in the 2022 draft for the Tigers. Stabs it inside 50. Getting hands to the ball there was Kono Giannis. Gerine comes away. Kick wasn't good off the boot. Garner keeps it inside the forward half here for the Tigers. Scott with his 3rd disposal. Gerine with the wall there. Back in defence. Yassine has a look. Has he get the bounce? In the end, getting back on the last line is Binns to rush the first minor of the game.
Tom Sims getting involved in his first game back at VFL level. Almost had an assist to his name there.
Number 38, El Noor. Utaz El Noor, a name to watch, and he might be advanced 50 metres here. So the defender is going to be brought into unfamiliar territory, and have a look at the goals. The umpire hadn't called played on when the Essendon defender came across El Noor's line.
Pretty good feeling as a defender when you get advanced up the field and you have a crack at the goal face. It's not often you get a shot at goal as a defender.
Hasn't kicked a lot of goals in his VFL career, but he's a player on the radar of AFL clubs ahead of the mid-season draft. Mutaz El Noor gets the first of the game, and the teammates flock to him, unsurprisingly.
Hussein El Hashar just couldn't, he had his hand in the cookie jar, just couldn't get out of space. It was too tempting to try to smother the ball then on the quick play. He just had to clear out of that protected area.
And that's that stand rule that they're really hot on enforcing lately, aren't they? There's only 1 player who's allowed within that 5 to 10 metre radius of the mark. You're absolutely right, yeah.
And that's pretty much what the whole rule was designed for, to allow the player with the ball to move the ball quickly, and Huss just couldn't get out of the way in time.
So that's El Noor's 3rd VFL goal in his 73-game career, and his first since round 5, 2024. So the definition of unfamiliar territory for Mutaz, but he gets the Tigers off to the hot start. First inside 50 for Essendon. Cox to the top of the goal square. Big fly over the top there. No mark paid. The Tigers will clear from defence. Collier the target. Falls to Newen at ground level. Chain of hand passes. And now a good look for Farinado to the top of the goal square. El Noor, this time doing the defending, thumps it away over the line. Not quite in the end. It gives Essendon another look inside 50. Haitley keeps the ball in play. And Jones centres the ball towards O'Neill. And in the end, it comes to Burke. He couldn't quite get a clean hand pass away. Now Dowling, the big ruck to the top of the goal square. Dropped by Jones. Almost the kick away there from Bella. And we can all take a breath with the ball up at the top of the square. Bella to do the ruck work here against Lockwood. Connolly got the hand pass away. The kick from Toner was smothered over the line and out of bounds. There's Hus Elachka, the NGA graduate, Todd Goldstein, who has got some serious tricks inside forward 50.
Absolutely. Inside 30, he's an incredibly dangerous player. He's kicked some remarkable goals in the pre-season and definitely one to watch out close to goal.
Here is Elachka. He finds an opening. And Hus Elachka, as if on cue, drills a beautiful check side goal. He's just got that natural forward craft. He just as soon as he gets the ball, he knows what to do with it, and he very rarely makes a mistake inside 30.
Just stays with it. They're willing to tap the ball to his advantage, and the low centre of gravity definitely helps him against the taller players in Xavier O'Neill there. But incredibly crafty inside 30, as you said. That's just that craft, that hand to foot, just able to put the ball through the goal where it needs to go. And he had a really impressive pre-season, Todd, because he got very early AFL opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you can definitely see a world where him and Isaac Kako work really well interchangeably. And he's obviously got a bit of work to do in terms of his fitness and to get up to AFL match conditioning. Yep. But he's very smart forward, that's for sure.
Starting positions warning on this occasion. So Samson Ryan will be doing the ruck work here against Dowling. Ryan decisively down. Falls to O'Neill, though. And Farinado drills a low ball inside 50. El Noor able to get the fist away again. Then so clean at ground level. Hand pass to Nankaro. But Farinado comes through. Missed the hand pass. Missed the teammate with the hand pass, rather. Good hard win there from Haitley. Now falls back to Nyko. Drills it inside 50. Connolly gets back to intercept for the Tigers. Has Fawcett running hard. Might have been a bit stiff to be dropped. Liam Fawcett, after 3 goals from 3 kicks in the AFL against St Kilda last week, has an opportunity now. Jerine gets back and takes a clever intercept mark. Kick, though, was smothered off the boot, so good follow-up work there from Yassine. But this is Cale Jerine, who came to Essendon as a ruck, Todd, but has sort of found himself into a key defensive role in the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, he came in as a ruck forward, and I think quickly, about halfway through the year, he got moved back, just a bit more opportunity, and he's got those strengths. He's got a really good mark. He's usually a good user of the footy. He's just got to make some smart decisions with it.
O'Neill. Gained about 20 metres of territory in the end. Geordie, as you saw last week, Jack Madgen would have been super pleased with what his side was able to do, considering the personnel issues that they had. They were so brave against the Box Hill Hawks.
Absolutely. To have no AFL listed players, I think that was the narrative that we kept going back to, but the grit that team showed, they were just able to nudge their way in front at any opportunity, and they were incredibly efficient going end to end. He would have been so pleased, and I think he felt a little bit hard done by at the end of the game.
Egan kicks towards the top of the goal square. Nankaro couldn't gather. It falls to Eckersley, who is able to bounce it through for the goal. On the last line there as well was Binns, who was involved. And the Bombers get their second of the game and retake the lead by 5 points. Just a bit of grit to keep pushing the ball forward here.
Yeah, it hasn't been the cleanest game that we've seen. The disposal efficiency from each team is sitting around, the kicking disposal efficiency sitting at 30 for Richmond and 39 for Essendon. So both teams, the ball's living in a little bit of contest at the moment, but it's not always the team that gets it end to end in the sexiest fashion that often converts on the scoreboard, and that's an example of that right there.
And it's the thing about playing at Windy Hill. It's a much tighter ground. There's a lot more contested footy. It doesn't take many kicks to get to the other end of the ground, but it is definitely a very much more contested game here.
So Jackson Binns, the former Blue, on the scoreboard here for the Bombers. Scott flares it out wide to Toner. We're hearing from Sam Toner in our halftime coverage here on Fox Footy, mid-season draft prospect in a couple of days' time. Stolen here by Stewart, who tries to swing it back on the left boot and is off to the left, Kai Stewart.
And how good was he last week, Todd? He peeled some incredible left foot goals from the boundary, and was almost the reason that they won the game last week. He just nudged them in front until Jack Dalton came out of nowhere and kicked a goal with a few seconds left. But he was incredibly impressive late in the game last week.
Yeah, he definitely didn't look like a player on debut and a young fella at best.
Newen, Gerine, hand pass over the top, sent Brody a task. Tigers players converge. Newen emerges with it though, working with Binns, Kondogiannis, Brody, Kondogiannis, Nyko, all working via hands, and Cox presents on the wing.
Love that work rate there from the Richmond half forwards to just press the Essendon defenders running out the back then. You know, they could easily have just folded back, but that was a really impressive work, and that was a feature of their game last week.
Binns for 2 goals in 2 minutes, got on the end of it. Was touched through on the last line of defence from Essendon's first behind of the game. Street will have the kick-in duties. And short to Sharkey. Might have been dealt with after he kicked. So it'll be a downfield free kick here for the Tigers. They'll keep on rolling. Big kick inside 50. Yassine had to sit at the back and is paid the mark. Plays on quickly, had some run from behind, and it is a goal to Sean Lai. He puts it through for the quick reply for the Tigers. Sean Lai, the twin brother of Josh Lai, who was picked up by the Port Adelaide Football Club. The Tigers, with some quick ball movement from the back line, able to capitalise.
This is just knowing your strengths here. Yassine didn't look super confident, but that running pass, that handball receive, just to be able to get a little bit more penetration and length on the kick and put it through for a goal.
Third year with the Richmond VFL side, Sean Lai. Out of the Cheltenham Footy Club in the Southern Footy League. Scott with the clearance. Garner brought down. Holding is the call, though. The tackle on Garner just lingered a little too long. Lovely left foot kick. Joel Garner thumps it into the arc. 3 Bombers went up. Fawcett was looking for the free kick. None forthcoming. Stewart looking for the free kick. None forthcoming. Instead, it'll be tossed back in.
Great support spoil there by Tyler Sellers. His real strength is his aerial and how hard he attacks the contest, so really good effort by him. Looks like he's done himself a bit of misdemeanor there with his holding his arm funny as he comes off.
He's coming off as well. Might have been a blood rule as well. So Bombers swing the changes here. 1 point lead early for the Tigers. Bombers coming off the bye last week. And as we mentioned, Richmond with that 1 point loss to Box Hill. Brody put his head over the Sharon there. O'Neill comes in contact with Sims, who has the ball held to him. As Geordie mentioned off the top, Tom Sims had a pretty luckless run with injury of late. Been sidelined with a foot injury in recent times, but back on managed minutes today for the Tigers. Sims doing the ruck work this time against Bella. Up high was Scott. A clean disposal away, and the ball hugging the line as we head downstairs to Drew Jones.
Benny, thanks very much, mate. So injury carnage from last night. I think we should go through it player by player. So 3 players from the game ended up in hospital. Andy McGrath, the most serious, with a fractured jaw, likely to require some dental work after a tooth came out in that incident. Archie May, suspected fractured ribs. Tom Lynch was the other that ended up in hospital after he hurt his larynx, but it's understood he is out of hospital and is okay this morning. Sam Durham was concussed. Matt Guelphy did his hamstring. Jai Caldwell hurt his ankle with a syndesmosis injury, and Jonty Fall has been concussed. A night of carnage, that's for sure.
Thanks, Drew. Yeah, it wasn't great for both sides, but particularly the Bombers. Jones, in the meantime, on the quick transition. Cox had the sit and, importantly, holds on to the strong mark despite the best efforts of line defence.
Really good decision there by Harry Jones. He had a player presenting just at the top of the 50. His eyes showed it up.
He goes with the right foot. Can go over the side, Nick Cox. He gives Essendon back the lead, kicks his first goal of the game. And it's just great to see Nick Cox back out in the field again, Todd.
Absolutely. He's obviously had a horrible run with concussions over the last few years, and he's just starting to get that little bit of continuity. Good to see him get a couple of AFL games over the last few weeks, but just good to see him just getting continuity in his footy, and taking marks, kicking goals like that is what he does best, using his running power.
And also good to see Harry Jones out there, who you just mentioned, Geordie. So Cox playing a bit more deep forward, it looks like, at the start of this game. At 200 centimetres, he does have the versatility, Todd, to play multiple positions.
Yeah, I think that's been part of the issue for Nick Cox. He's probably played a bit of everywhere because of his versatility, but look, wherever he does, he's such a good runner, he's such a good user of the footy, that good things happen when the ball gets in his hands.
Free kick here to Haitley, the Essendon VFL vice-captain, in his 3rd year with the club. Into the arc he goes. Trying to run onto it here for the Bombers. Dowling. Hand pass squeezes out here. Burke falls to Egan on the preferred left. Curled too much in the end. Late inclusion today, Jake Egan, if you've just joined us. As a result of the injuries from Essendon's AFL team last night, both Elijah Sardis and Will Setterfield have been managed for today's game. And that's despite Essendon's VFL team having the bye last week as well. Nancarrow in the pocket here for the Tigers. Goes to a big pack of players. From the side, Ryan and Lockwood. No Tiger able to come down with it. Spills here to Scott, Smith, Collier. And well-weighted left foot kick into the middle. George. A lot of free players in the corridor, but he flares it wide to Toner, who marks and goes. As a player on inboard, it's Lai. The 1-2 with Toner. He can go short or go for home and glory. And he misses off to the right. Ample confidence there from Sam Toner, but can't capitalise.
That ability to create those handball receive opportunities, as you mentioned, Todd, on a ground as small as Windy Hill, is crucial in gaining territory and putting the ball in positions where the team can score.
Kondo Giannis. The switch kick comes off. Nicely weighted. The mark taken by Naish on debut. And the Bombers go inside 50. Caught behind, though, on that occasion was Ezekiel. A nice intercept mark taken by Pollux for the Tigers. Back into the Richmond VFL outfit last week and had the 12 disposals. Lie the target here on the outer half-back flank. Well played by Binns to bring it to the ground and not give away the free kick. Forces the scrubber of a kick. Collier up to the task, but he turned it over. And Naish on debut can't capitalise. Big day today for Charlie Naish.
Extremely well read there. You could see that happening from a mile away, and what a highlight reel that would have been if he had to put that one through.
The son of Chris Naish and the brother of Patrick Naish, who've both had AFL experience over the past few decades. Chris playing with Richmond and Port Adelaide, and Patrick, a father-son, picked to the Tigers and then linking up with the Eagles. Six-point lead here for Essendon.
The matchup between Boston Dowling and Samson Ryan's a fascinating one. After their first pre-season game this year, Richmond actually called Boston Dowling to come train with him as a chance for a SSP spot. So Samson Ryan, I think we want to prove a point today.
He's got some serious size, Todd, at 207 centimetres as well. Let's see if he can make the most of his chance today. Pollock's got the hand pass away. Now the Tigers will look to link up through hand. Collier just missed his teammate McKenzie, but they keep on running. George, handballs further afield to Toner. This time squares it up. And it's not a great kick off the boot. It landed into the lap of Mackay. Not out of danger yet, though, the Essendon defence. Pounced on by George. He does the team thing, gets the hand pass off, and it's a goal to the Tigers. Stewart this time finds the goal mouth and levels up the scores at 21 apiece.
I don't mind that kick from Toner there. The execution wasn't fantastic, but he just had this vision to try and hit a player on the inside. And as a defender, as an Essendon defender, you're pretty shaky when the ball gets switched inside, even if the ball is in a live situation, not necessarily along the ground. But well done for the Richmond forwards here to keep the ball alive, and it ended up in the hands of Stewart, who we know can convert pretty well in front of goal.
The Richmond pressure last week was a real feature of their game. They had 81 tackles, up from their average of about 50 a game. So the pressure's been really there for them the last few weeks. So the more the plays in live and they're able to bring that pressure method to life, the better it's going to be for them.
Yeah, a couple of goals on debut last week for Kai Stewart from 13 touches and 4 inside 50s. Very promising display. Scott has some support on the outside. It's Sharkey. Another inside 50 for the Tigers. Yassine waiting at ground level. Sellers gets back to lend support. Nyko finds a way through, hacks it away. The Tigers trying to lock it inside their forward half here. Great ball work there from Scott, but he's worked hard. It comes though to Lai, who has a look at the goals and kicks his second. Tigers back in front. Entertaining start. We've had the 7 goals early, and it feels like a real arm wrestle on the scoreboard early, Geordie Allen.
It certainly does, and it seems to be that whenever the ball leaves the centre of the ground, it's very quickly going to make its way back there at the moment. I love this work, this grit. As you mentioned, Todd, this was a real feature of the Richmond team last week, and from a statistics perspective, they were behind in almost every crucial stat, but that ability to just win the ball when it mattered and convert when it mattered allowed them to stay in the game. And they're a bit more even on the main features of statistics here today, but they're definitely well and truly in this one.
Holding free kick here to Essendon, coming back to Haitley. With Setterfield and Sardis managed today. A bit more responsibility on the shoulders of the vice-captain. Lots of Tigers defenders up there. Pollock's at ground level did well. Sharkey handballing over the top to Houghton. Back to Sharkey. And they work it out towards the wing position into the lap of Fawcett. And a bit of a look at AFL level this year, Liam Fawcett. Back in the VFL team this week. Brodie. O'Neill for Essendon towards half forward. Forced to Elachka at ground level. Tigers have the numbers at the back. Connolly, Ryan and Elnor combine all via hand. Another downfield free kick, so Fawcett can set up again from the wing position.
You can see Richmond a lot happier to go long and direct early in this game. Last week they were going for the shorts. They didn't have the talls, but with the 3 talls back in, they're looking to go longer and more direct.
So there was initially a downfield free kick, and there's been a scuffle 20 metres out from goal, and it's going to be advanced all the way into Richmond's forward 50 without a kick or a handball having to be done by the Tigers. So Sam Toner, who had a flying shot at goal earlier and missed, but he's one of the most talented players in the VFL and is on the mid-season draft radar for a couple of days' time. Can he extend the Tigers' lead? Makes no mistake. Entertaining start here at Windy Hill.
Costly error there for the Bombers. Just a moment ago, they were out in front, and now they're at a deficit of 12 points just before the quarter time siren, I'd say, or, you know, a few goals being kicked, maybe a few more minutes left in this quarter. But yeah, costly error, and especially to advance the ball after it had already been given a 50-metre penalty to gain 60 metres of territory. You're definitely licking your lips if you're Sam Toner. It's a good way to get involved in the game.
In a tight game, you just can't afford those little mental errors to let your opponents get on top of you, and you know, to give a 2-goal lead to Richmond early on just gives that little bit of confidence that they're in this game like they were last week.
So 3 goals on the bounce now for the Tigers. And now have that advantage. Big don't argue from Scott. Get out of my way. Inside 50 goes the star, and another free kick, this time against Jerome. Or no, it's not. Against Fawcett, who can't believe it.
Both look shocked at the free
Yes.
could have been against them.
Jerome gets the reprieve. Scott up high, couldn't take the mark. At ground level, Bella. Newen can't slip the tackle, but Binns was waiting to receive on the outside. He goes short. Binns gets it back. Drills it inside 50, but it's all the Tigers back there. They look pretty well set, the Tigers, in defence when the Essendon team goes forward. Lie up high. Good start for him. Couple of goals, and this is disposal number 5 coming up for Sean Lie. Even numbers there. Sellers got hands to the ball. Free kick to the Tigers. Advantage is paid. Yassine centres it, and it's dropped just in the last minute there by Garner. Well played by the Bombers' defence to get back and stop a certain shot at goal. Cox is going to do the ruck work here against Fawcett. Hacked away there by Mackay. Intercepted, though, by Richmond. Comes to McKenzie. Off a standing start inside 50. And the mark taken by Fawcett, who has a really good look here at Richmond's 4th straight goal.
Great vision there by McKenzie just to find Fawcett all on his own in the pocket. Bit of that's really hard as a defender when the ball transitions out. That ability to snap quickly and locate a forward is absolutely crucial to prevent those rebound entry goals.
Three disposals, 3 marks for Liam Fawcett to extend Richmond's lead again. Well, that came through nice and loud and clear. That's how happy he was. Liam Fawcett kicks the goal for the Tigers, and they hold an 18-point lead.
And Liam Fawcett, he's got a point to prove after coming back
Yes.
from the AFL side last week, and with Tom Lynch ending up in hospital last night, he maybe sees an opportunity to get a reprieve next week. So he started the game looking really strong, and it helps to get those goals.
And the other thing to point out is that Jonty Fall had the concussion as well last night, so Jonty's definitely out of next week. So you'd suggest, with Tom Sins coming back on managed minutes, Geordie, you'd think the Tigers would be really conservative there, and this guy, Liam Fawcett's got a big chance to get back in next week.
Absolutely, and if he continues to put his foot forward and consistently show up the way he has today, I have no doubt that they'll be considering his name for selection next week.
Just starting to get a bit more territory advantage, the Tigers, in the past few minutes. 4 goals on the trot. They have an 18-point lead. High tackle. Be coming back here to Caleb Smith for the Tigers. This is his 29th VFL game since he was drafted. Sellers, the forward come defender, showing just how valuable he is behind the ball for the Bombers. Skews it wide, it's dangerous. It's chopped off by Loftus, who's got lots of Tigers in the middle. Force it again, but he kicks it straight back to Sellers as if he's playing kick to kick in the park. Now the Bombers can pounce. Nyko's got some speed. Wants to use his left side. Goes inboard via hand. Haitley checks his kick, and it's a well-weighted pass. Bella presents inside the arc.
There's a huge difference when Essendon are able to change the angles, switch the footy. That's when they seem to be able to control the ball and find the Richmond defenders caught short. Whereas when they go in the straight lines, Richmond are able to set up really well behind the ball.
Plenty of VFL experience, Will Bella. This is his first season with Essendon's VFL side, but prior to this year, he played 42 games with Gold Coast's VFL outfit and Coburg. Back in the side this week, 4 goals from 6 games previously. Splits the middle on the set shot. A much-needed major for Essendon.
It's interesting that Will Bella isn't taking the centre bounce rucks. He was quite a handy ruckman at Coburg over the last few years, so I'm surprised that they've gone with Nick Cox over Will Bella. But his forward presence there, as you can see, is a lovely shot on goal. Maybe they just want that extra bit of height down forward.
We saw earlier on in the game there was only a brief moment, but his ability to get the work done below his knees, maybe that makes him a little bit more of a favourable option down forward when you have to be able to do it high and low.
23 years old, Will Bella, 196 centimetres, so good size, versatility to play forward, and as Todd mentioned, in the ruck. McKenzie clean from the centre bounce. Goes short, the mark's been taken here by Cantwell. You can hear he's groan as that slid off the side of the boot, still in play. Force it, couldn't keep it inbounds. Well played by Sellers defensively.
Seems to be when Richmond get the clearance. The clearances at the moment, 8 to 9 Essendon. They're just exiting without much pressure at all. We saw them exit through the front door a few times. McKenzie, I believe it was, and his inside 50 then, it just gains so much territory when they do manage to win the clearance. They're really effective and really direct.
Cox has kicked it straight into the face of his teammate in Egan. Might give the Tigers a chance to lock it inside 50. Now, has Yassine made a genuine attempt? He has not. So holding the ball against the Tigers forward. Haitley calls for calm. Cox coming up for his 5th disposal of the quarter. As we tick towards the 31-minute mark. Yassine was ready to pounce as Cox was called to play on. Now Brodie sends it to half forward. Big thump away there from Lockwood. Connolly lost his footing. Newen kept his feet. Elachka short the bins. And Elachka and Newen both tracking. El Noor came flying over the top. And Newen has drifted forward and has the set shot opportunity in the pocket. Known as a small defender in the AFL circles, but has been able to hit the scoreboard at VFL level this year, Jaden Newen. 5 goals from his 4 games. 5 goals, 6 in fact. He's kicked it high, but he has kicked it. Well, it looked straight, but it didn't have the distance. So thump through for a behind. It's a lengthy first quarter.
He was originally drafted as a small forward, I think. Went back, did some really good jobs at the AFL level on players like Tom Papley, but this year has been moved back more as a small forward.
Sims will be the target. Big fly, Sims. Gerine from behind. Bins at ground level. Brodie. El Noor waiting in the hole, but it went over his head and fell in the arms of Bella, who's playing with some big presence inside the arc at the moment. And he looks like he's got some serious confidence to make the journey from here.
It's a tricky time of the game with 32 minutes on the clock. Not sure how long's left. Do you have the shot or just drop it in shorter?
One of the beauties of the VFL broadcast, the count-out clock. Hope you're enjoying it here on Fox Footy. As Bella will kick from outside 50. We'll go right to the line. Pack form. Sims has got all the way back to spoil. It falls to Naish. Kick smothered. Tigers hold it up inside their defensive 50.
We'd love to see a Richmond player come from the other direction and try and punch it over the line rather than back into play.
Will it prove costly? Ryan doing the ruck work. Taps it away. Street got the hand pass towards the advantage of Loftus, who was corralled over the line. 33 minutes and change. Tigers by 11. As we tick towards quarter time here at Windy Hill. Reminder, this game was supposed to be at ETU Stadium, moved to Windy Hill. So a home game for Richmond against Essendon. Newen retreats, goes back. And a high kick from Gallagher inside 50. Chopped off here by the Tigers. Last line of defence, Connolly lost his footing. Was under enough pressure to rush the behind, according to the umpire.
That was a tight call then.
Yeah. Jones just close enough to be under pressure.
I reckon the half slip there helped him.
Yeah. It means that the Tigers hold on to a 10-point lead at quarter time. It is Richmond 6-3 to Essendon 4-5. Sam Toner is one of their star players, a mid-season draft prospect. And we're going to hear a little bit more about him in our halftime coverage here on Fox Footy.
You're never that far away. Like, I was playing local footy, never had a phone call, never thought anything of it, and then in 3 months I was doing a draft combine in front of heaps of AFL clubs, and it's just telling yourself that you're never that far away. It's just one opportunity that you just need to take with both hands. I think that's what I've been able to do, is just take my opportunities with both hands, and I encourage every kid to do that whenever it does come up.
VFL action coming to you from Windy Hill as we kick off a big Super Saturday on Fox Footy. Asalachka and Mutaz El Noor with the early goals. A real arm wrestle early in the first quarter before 4 consecutive Richmond goals handed them a 10-point lead at quarter time. Ben Mackay, after a tough loss last night, out at Windy Hill supporting his VFL side. Ben Waterworth with you alongside Todd Goldstein and Geordie Allen. And as we take a look at this Richmond blitz, the 4 goals there, Geordie, Sean Lai was part of that. He's kicked 2 goals, and looks like we saw with Kai Stewart last week, a couple of really nice left foot finishes from Sean Lai to ensure the Tigers got off to this great start.
Yeah, he's had a good start, hasn't he? He's just found the goal face at important times. He's got 100% kicking efficiency, and, 2 goals straight will definitely help bolster those numbers. But he just seems to be in good spots and really decisive with the footy. I like what he's brought to the game so far.
Let's head downstairs. Jack Madgen, the Richmond coach, is with Drew Jones.
Thank you, Ben. Jack, entertaining first quarter of footy. What have you made of it?
Yeah, no, they're a really good first quarter team. So we knew we'd have to withstand one of their best punches. I thought we did pretty good. When we get the ball going our way, we've had plenty of territory. It's just about keeping it in our front half. It's transitioning a little bit too easy. Your
forwards have made the most of their opportunities. Sean Lai, great start, and Sam Toner, as we've come to expect, really dynamic start.
Yeah, and they both start on the wing, which is really pleasing. So, they're a good start. Now the challenge is to keep that going for the rest of the 3 quarters.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
So the inside 50 count, Todd, in that first quarter was 21-14 in favour of the Tigers. They were just able to get that little bit more territory dominance and able to pepper the goals just that little bit more.
Yeah, and it was just probably a little bit shaky from Essendon in terms of only kicking the ball at 50%. They're turning the ball over, making themselves really hard for themselves. So I think Richmond's pressures has come to play today, and it's been a great start for them.
Second quarter underway. Ryan and Dowling, 2 big rucks, 206 centimetres against 207 centimetres in the middle of Windy Hill. Falls to McKenzie. Collier just got the hand pass away, but fell to Alachka. Kicks inside 50. Nice spoil there, but excellent crumb from Ferronato in the end. Comes out to Jones. Little hand pass away. Ferronato had a snap at goal. And in the end, Connolly was able to thump it away from Ewan for a rush behind.
Almost a fraction too unselfish there by Will Bella. He could have probably had a shot on goal, but just gave a loopy handball, which put them under pressure.
Connolly with the kick-in duties, averaging the 19 disposals per game. Had 27 last week against the Box Hill Hawks. Short to Lockwood, who you're a big fan of, Zayden Lockwood, Geordie Allen.
I am a big fan of Zayden Lockwood, and I think looking at this Richmond team and the grit that they show, I think he leads from the front. He absolutely, didn't fill the stat sheet last week, but it was the little things. It was the spoils, it was the blocks, the tackles in really crucial moments. I think he'd be a great teammate to have.
Reports around that he has been interviewed by Richmond's AFL recruiting staff as well, so there's a few Tigers from this VFL side in the mid-season radar, rather. Dowling with the free kick from the ruck contest inside 50. Bella caught behind, but in front, floating across. That is a mark with some authority from Nick Cox.
And that's when Nick Cox is at his absolute best, when he's just running and jumping the footy. No one really gets a body on him, and he's just able to use his height and his athleticism with a great mark.
It just looks like, I've only seen a quarter and a bit so far, but he's playing with some serious confidence at the moment, Nick Cox. This for his second goal of the game, this time on the left. The ambidextrous one slots it for Essendon, and they're back under a kick. I was just looking at, during the week, Todd, at Nick Cox. Of Essendon's last 79 possible games at the AFL level, he's only played the 34. We mentioned his concussions, but it's also been other issues with his body as well. Pick 8 back in the 2020 draft. In his last 3 VFL games, we've seen his goal-kicking prowess. He kicked 6 goals in his previous 3 games, so he's showing what he can do as a forward.
I think everyone can see the potential that Nick has, and at 200 centimetres, he's one of their better runners. He's a great user of the footy. he just needs that continuity, and you know it's hard when you have that stop-start career that it is hard to get that growth as a player and to work on your deficiencies.
So last 2 goals of the game to Essendon. Bella got one just before quarter time, and now Cox gets his second. Coley got the hand pass away. And Mackenzie working with Street. Back to Collier. Into the arc. Ryan stands tall. The ruck drifts forward and provides an option inside 50. And that's what you want from your big ruck, Geordie, to have that impact inside the arc.
Absolutely, and he's going back and he's backing himself. You could see Collier, as soon as he saw Ryan floating back in that really dangerous spot, basically directly out in front, about 40 out from goal, it was a pretty enticing target, one that he couldn't give up.
Samson Ryan back in the side this week at VFL level. It'll go right to the line and over the line for a goal. Richmond get the quick response through their experienced ruck.
I reckon they're laughing that one off because you could hear the roar as soon as the ball left his boot, and maybe it was a bit of a premature sally because it could have been spoiled on the line. But no, great rip from Ryan there to be able to put it through, and another nudge in front from this Richmond team.
And at VFL level, he's played the 47 games since 2021, but he's kicked the 55 goals, Todd. So at this level, he's shown that he can have lots of scoreboard impact.
Yeah, he's definitely got that ability to push forward, and he's played a little bit as a forward as well. So he does have that natural forward craft, and he's obviously a pretty good kick at the footy.
And then he gets the clearance for the Tigers, although straight down into the lap of Nyko. The edge of the centre square. That kick from Nyko didn't do his teammate any favours. And now Smith provides some dash off half-back. Toner. It's the hand pass out to Smith, who kept on running. Kick was hoping for force it inside 50. Socket off the ground by George. Can't keep it in. Nyko ambitiously asking if there was sufficient intent there. Nonetheless, it'll be tossed back in. 9-point lead for the Tigers.
Just those mid-arc turnovers for the Bombers again, just killing them. It's hard to get any continuity in their play when they just turn over simple kicks like that.
What can the Tigers do from this forward 50 stoppage? Now, Richmond asked the question. It was a clean handball away, obviously inside the arc is the no last disposal free kick. A free kick though for Harry Scott, who's had the 8 disposals and 4 clearances so far for the Tigers.
And 6 contested possessions, leading all comers. Sorry, 8 other than Haitley's got 8.
Scott almost had another touch there. Cantwell tries to centre it. Yassine lurking dangerously. Well worked out by the Bombers. Gallagher shrugged the tackle, working with O'Neill. The run and gun off half-back, but an excellent smother there from Smith to disrupt the momentum. But the Bombers keep on surging forward. Kick, though, lands in the lap of El Nor in the defensive 50. There's a player gone down at true half-forward there for Essendon, who's not in a good way. Just looks like after he landed, he's clutching in his lower leg towards that ankle area.
Or Bella.
It is Bella. That left ankle. In the meantime, the Tigers go forward. George has Toner running hard to the top of the goal square. 3-on-1 against Fawcett, and the Bombers thump it through for a minor as Will Bella is in a bad way coming to the bench here at Windy Hill. Here's a look on replay. We hope for his sake it's okay. I think we're just waiting for Bella to come off. Good to see he's at least walking. As we head downstairs to Drew Jones, who has a little bit more on the AFL injury fallout for the Bombers. Drewza?
Yeah, thank you, Ben. So I guess slightly good news is that Andy McGrath and Archie May are both out of hospital. So likely Andy McGrath will go in for surgery early next week on his jaw. And just a slight concern on the kidney for Archie May. So not the ribs, the kidney. He'll be a test for this week. Obviously, Andy McGrath will miss, as will Caldwell, Durham and Guelphy. So 18 on the injury list now for the Bombers.
Thank you, Drew. It's a shocking situation for Essendon. As Brad Scott said in his press conference last night, a bit of deja vu after in the corresponding game last year. The Bombers got a couple of bad injuries and were forced to head to the mid-season draft, although this year they won't have as many picks as they don't have as many long-term injuries on their list.
Shout out to Andy McGrath. I know we'll be watching this game from home. That's for sure. The captain loves supporting his teammates.
Yeah, it was a nasty-looking injury as he came off the ground last night. Collier, inside 50. Players fly. Comes to Kondo Giannis, who kicks it into the middle. Lockwood had to sit. Wasn't paid the mark. Clever little tap there from Smith, who's done some nice one-percenters in this second quarter. Elachka and Eckersley ensure that that will be a ball up in the middle of Windy Hill.
Great fight by Jared Eckersley. He's been playing half-back last few weeks, so he's gone forward this week, and you know, he's a great competitor.
Yeah, kicked 9 goals. Quite a hit going back as well, Eckersley. He's a natural goal kicker when he's playing inside the arc. George handled over his head. Went back to Collier. And now Sharkey kicks that out wide to Toner, who's doing a mountain of work roaming the wings and the flanks today. Kondo Giannis with a standing spoil. Hand pass comes inboard. Egan involved. Have a tap there from Toner. Classy back to Collier and back to Toner. Kick was perfect inside 50 to George, had plenty of options. And Toner is still running in the pocket. George instead looks a bit more central, and a big breakdown of communication there defensively for Essendon allows a set shot opportunity here for Cantwell. Free Tigers everywhere inside the forward 50.
Could just see the mentality of the Essendon defenders. They wanted to kind of protect that inside 30 rather than be accountable to a player who was in a dangerous position at the top of the 50.
3 goals in his previous 3 VFL games this season, Rye Cantwell. And a nice set shot from the North Ringwood product. Richmond get their 8th of the game.
I really like that ball movement down the skinny side. As soon as Richmond managed to turn the ball over here, they're able to just turn their Essendon defenders inside out. And as you mentioned, a little bit of a miscommunication there. Essendon players just retreating, and there was an absolute truckload, I should say, of Richmond players inside 50. So it really could have been anyone who ended up with the footy in their hands then, and it was Cantwell who converted. And
Sam Toner was involved in that passage of play. He's up to a game-high 12 disposals as well. 6 inside 50s. You can see why, Geordie, he's a player on the mid-season draft radar.
Yeah, and his work rate, you always find him up around the half-back flank, and he'll be involved early on in a chain of play, but he's able to work his defender up the ground and then work all the way back really hard inside 50 and present as an option late. Speaking of mid-season draft prospects, Mutaz El Noor with the most decisive score you'll see today. And then he got about 5 high 10s afterwards. He's pumped back in defence, just doing what he's done so well for many years in the VFL. Firstly with the Bull Ants, and now with Richmond's VFL side, the reigning Richmond VFL best and fairest from last year. Nancarrow's kick chopped off by Sellers, who ran out of room, so he had to hand pass further afield. Falls to McKenzie, who torps it away. Bounce important here. Well trapped by the Bombers in the end. Kondo Giannis, great composure shown. Deep kick inside 50, marked. Excellent mark from Eckersley. Oh, it was a free kick though. Against Eckersley in the end for a illegal contact that's coming back to Pollux. Here's a look on replay. Just a little nudge in the end, and Pollux was there. The umpires look for that extension, and just a little bit of too much extension of the elbow there. Would have been a clean mark if he had have just left it to the hips to do the talking.
Jarine inside 50 again. Pollux at the back, sees it over the line. So the Tigers won 2 of their first 3 games this VFL season, but have lost their past 4 consecutive games, including that 1-point loss to Hawthorn last week. Essendon just haven't had any consistency so far in their VFL campaign. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win in the bye last week. Free kick from the stoppage here against Stewart, and it's coming back to Newen.
This Richmond side is really like they've galvanised over the last few weeks with all the injuries. They're getting a lot from their VFL listed players, and it looks like a really connected and really galvanised group.
Correction, it was Sharkey the free kick was against. So Newen already had 1 shot at the goals. This one a touch friendlier angle-wise. And Jaden Newen makes the most of it. Struck it well. And he has a bit of a go at Sharkey afterwards. Garner involved as well. Confidence booster for Jaden Newen, who, as Todd mentioned, back inside the forward 50. To see Will Bella at least moving a little more freely. Bombers will monitor him obviously very, very carefully.
Ankle's one of those interesting ones. It's going to come down to just how much pain you're willing to put up with to be whether you can get out there and finish the game off or not.
Two goals apiece so far in this quarter. So the Tigers still holding that 10-point lead that they had at the first change. Scott trying to get another clearance, brought down though by Cox. He's the leading ball winners on the screen. Toner and Collier with 12 each for the Tigers. Overall, Richmond slightly ahead on the disposal count overall. Joel Garner at the bottom of that pack, former Port Adelaide listed player, and went to Footscray's VFL side and linked up with Richmond, not only in their VFL capacity, but works full-time at the club as well. Their Indigenous program. Toner. Can find a teammate, Cox. Slung off the ball, and it spills wide here to Stewart. Dribbling kick inside 50 did his teammate in Fawcett no favours, but Fawcett's fight at ground level is excellent. And it comes out to McKenzie, feigned the kick, dropped the ball, unfortunately, for his sake. Hately overran the ball. McKenzie still going, out to George. How did he dispose of that? Umpire said play on. Fight for the footy continues. Elachka put his head over the ball. Tigers still find a way through. Sharkey. Elachka, though, for Essendon intercepts. Had one arm pinned. Umpire let the play go for a long time, but then eventually called for holding the ball.
That's the rule they enforce there. If you've got a free hand, you've got to do something with it, and it's an incredibly difficult position to be in. You've just got to throw a boot at it. Doesn't matter if you don't hit the ball, you've just got to make an attempt, and clearly the umpire thought that Elachka didn't make sufficient attempt to dispose of the ball there.
Good to see Will Bella back on the field for Essendon. He'll try at that ankle now. In the meantime, Liam George in his 3rd VFL season for the Tigers and his 10th touch today, swings it out to the left. 11-point lead here for Richmond. Geraint's kick is dangerous, but it comes off to Binns. He has 11 touches for the Bombers. Geraint into the middle of Windy Hill, intercepted by Richmond. And it comes to Houghton, who in the end I think was caught in 2 minds about where to go. Ended up straight into the lap of Binns. Well played there by Nankara to come through and spoil it away, but Essendon have numbers behind and force the ball forward. Lockwood, excellent trap and intercept there. And now the Tigers can build from the back, although Smith ripped it away from Sims. The two work it out eventually. Good pressure from Essendon. No team able to get that relieving mark in this passage of play. And it comes now out to the Bombers inside 50. Eckersley kept his feet. Can he keep the ball in play? He can't. Boundary throw in.
that rebound 50 as the ball went inside and came back out earlier on in that play. That's what Jack Madgen was talking about at halftime, and like the endeavour from the Richmond Footy Club to maintain territory. They were looking good, and just a few uncharacteristic skill errors allowed Essendon to take the ball forward.
High fend off by Jared Eckersley then.
And he's not in a good way, Collier, as well. He's had plenty of the ball.
It's a good solid forearm to the head.
Bang.
Ooh. So he's got some claret coming from the nose there, and we'll have that attended to Nick Collier, who's had a really good start to this game for the Tigers. 12 disposals for him. Constantly involved in the forward half of the ground as well. Just on Sam Toner at the moment, who's the leading ball winner on the ground, he's got 14 disposals. The most he's had in a VFL game prior to today is 18 against St Kilda earlier this season, when he kicked 6 goals, 3.
He's also had the 6 inside 50s as well, so he's having a real impact on this game.
Sims brings it to ground level. Houghton was there. Kicked off the ground there by Egan. It might work out okay here for Newen, who got the accommodating bounce. Turns. Has Nyko. Now Kondogiannis with a thumping kick. Lovely sidestep from Kondogiannis. Puts it to the top of the goal square. At the back. Bombers have the numbers. Egan pounces but can't find the goals. Just seen a couple of times today, Todd, Max Kondogiannis, who was taken in last year's draft by the Bombers at pick 36, pull off some real AFL-like traits and moves. Very, very impressive. Yeah,
he obviously got a game round 1 and he's just his composure with the ball. He's got it for a bloke that's so young and so new to the system. He's got such a great composure with it. He's going to have a great career, I think.
Or Lockwood just was able to get over the line in the end. There were a couple of Bombers waiting to get a toe poke onto the ball. In the end, it's a behind. Connolly brings it away from defensive 50. Here's another touch, you'd think, coming up for Toner, although Binns wins it back and kicks it inside 50, and going back with courage, not knowing what was coming the other way, was Eckersley, who almost gave off another high fend-off.
Super craft then by Jackson Binns, just to stay in his opponent, work him under it really well and win the contested footy.
Nine goals, 4 so far this season for Jared Eckersley, who was part of that Gold Coast Suns VFL Premiership a couple of seasons ago. Now at the Bombers, and kicking dead-eye straight on this occasion. Awesome VFL game of footy we've got here at Windy Hill. 3 points the difference.
He's so versatile, Jared Eckersley. He can play up forward, he can play down back. He's played on the wing and also through the midfield. So he's genuinely a jack of all trades, and an impressive kick shot on goal then.
There's Jackson Binns on screen as well there. Geordie was part of Carlton's list, and I suppose was somewhat surprisingly cut from Carlton's list last year. Racked up the numbers big time at VFL level, but you can see, as we see a couple of Essendon players, and then Mackay, Kako and Mason Redmond in the back there, you can see how much of an impact Jackson Binns is having on this Essendon VFL team. Yeah,
Binns is, as you mentioned, Todd, that craft on the wing there, that ability to just work his player under, that's the experience that you get, and that's probably what he's gained from being in the Carlton list, and, you know, hard done by, but no doubt he's the type of player that will provide a lot of experience to this Essendon team.
Handball just missed the target on that occasion and allows Richmond to pounce on the counter-attack. Ryan, Lai, drills it inside 50. Bounce important here. Jerome met it first and ripped it away from Sims and bounces it out of defensive 50. Here's an opportunity for Staropoli. Talk about him in a couple of moments' time. He's an exciting rebounding defender. He finds Cox, who wheels and goes inside 50. Bella had the sit, dropped the mark. El Noor, clean at ground level, missed the hand pass. Binns again involved, falls to Haitley, round the body, kicks the goal. Bombers in front, 3 goals in a row for the Dons.
Reward for effort there for Jared Haitley. He's been all over the place today. He's had 11 disposals. He's had 100% disposal efficiency by foot. And more importantly, he's been in and under 8 contested possessions. So that's what you want to see from an in and under midfielder who's just worked tirelessly all game. And he's been crucial. So to be able to hit the scoreboard here, no doubt this is momentum building for the Essendon Footy Club.
You can just see the kicking efficiencies of both sides. I think Richmond up to about 75% at one point and Essendon were as low as 49%. They're now starting to come back closer together, and that's why we have such a close game.
Bombers take the lead. Houghton gets the clearance, so for Richmond. Bounces away from that pack. High tackle is called. George will be the recipient. O'Neill was not happy with perhaps how George attacked that ball there. Nonetheless, George has the free kick. It's a pretty congested forward 50. Now he will have a look at the goals. Puts it to the top of the goal square. Ryan bounced off his chest, followed up at ground level, and then had the ball held to him. Sims playing behind the ball here. In fact, sorry, rather near the goal square. He just went down there, Tom Sims, and he's just clutching at his lower right foot. In the meantime, the Bombers can rebound away. Haitley at half-back. There he is. And he's in a lot of pain, Tom Sims.
Grabbing his knee by the looks of it.
That is not good. He's being attended to. He's in a lot of distress there. The Richmond key position player. Ball's gone out of bounds at the other end of the field. But all eyes now on Tom Sims, and devastating scenes here. He's playing his first competitive game of the season. Just watch him in the background of your screen. Clutching at that right knee. Elbow injury last year, and now the foot. And he's in a lot of pain. A lot of anguish. And considering the number of injury setbacks this Richmond list has had this year, and specifically Tom Sims as well, has had to wait a long time to get back out on the field, manage minutes back today. Shocking scenes here for the Richmond Footy Club. Let's watch the number 38 in the background here. So stretcher coming out now. Saw Adamuze at the ground earlier today, watching him, and he's distraught, Tom Sims, and you can see the Richmond players get to him now for support. He's worked so hard, so diligently to get back.
You wonder whether a lot of that emotion, no doubt he's in a mountain of physical pain, but as a player who's had setback after setback, you'd be thinking that that'd be playing on the forefront of his mind at the moment.
And the effect that can have on his teammates as well, who have seen him put in all those hard yards, see him finally get back to playing footy, and it can have a real detrimental effect on everyone's headspace at this time.
There is the coach of the Richmond AFL side on screen. A wonderful night last night for the Tigers. A couple of casualties, Jonty Fall and Tom Lynch. And now he watches as Tom Sims comes off the ground. He was taken with the first pick of the second round in the 2024 draft. One of the most highly coveted picks of the draft it's become now, with the second round of the draft now on the second night. Played 11 AFL games last year, kicked the 4 goals. Just sours the atmosphere here at Windy Hill. Drew Jones will be all over it downstairs, no doubt. But emotion spilling over for the Northern Knights product. Still just 20 years of age. Great athlete, 199 centimetres. We hope for the best for Tom Sims. Play resumes at Windy Hill. Ryan was the target. Ly's kick was smothered off the boot. So after the Tigers brought in, Geordie, 4 AFL listed players for this game, after 0 last week, they're already down 1.
Yeah, and you mentioned the injury woes at their AFL level. You know, another AFL listed player who, you know, hopefully not a significant injury, but definitely puts a dint, a chink in their armour, a list that's trying to repair from an injury perspective.
Forced to Naish at the back here. Elachka lurking at ground level for the Bombers. El Noor wraps up his opponent. Big tackle from El Noor, making his presence known in the defensive arc as always for the Tigers. So we're ticking into the 29-minute mark now of this second quarter, but it'll be another lengthy quarter after a delay. That saw Tom Sims come off the ground. We also saw Will Bella come off the ground as well, so there's a little delay in that. Newen explodes away from the forward 50 stoppage. There's some serious forward craft from Jaden Newen.
He's been electric so far. We've seen him a few times, obviously hit the scoreboard. That's 3 to his name now. He's also the enforcer down there at his small size. He's the first one to pick his teammates up. He's the first one to remind the opposition of their standings and his loyalty to his teammates. So he's an electric little player, and probably, you know, the coaching staff are probably stoked that they've chucked him forward after living down back early on in his career.
Yeah, he's a real talisman for the side. You know, as you said, he's the first bloke that will pick a fight with someone. He'll be the first one to get around his teammate. He's a great teammate to have, but you know, it's great to see him get that reward as well now for his effort.
Back in the middle here. Bombers with the last 4 consecutive goals of the game. Can the Tigers get one back? Garner was the target. Trying to get through. There was Stewart. Threw it onto the boot. No clean contact. Garner had the ball wrapped to him. Newen has kicked 2 of those last 4 goals for the Bombers. Eckersley and Haitley the other 2. Dowling. Big double fist away. Nyko. And the Bombers clear. Lockwood at the sit. Cox was just there to have enough perceived pressure. Good follow-up from Lockwood. Connolly retreating with Street. Nankaro lost his footing. Had the ball stripped from him. Elachka tapped it up to Newen. Was there a throw, though? Might have just scooped it up.
The ball got a little bit more elevation.
Yes.
I think a tap may have on from the ground.
Here's a look. There's a late whistle.
I think you definitely call that a scoop.
Yes. Denied Newen the opportunity of a look at a third goal. What have you seen change, Geordie and Todd, from the Bombers in the past couple of minutes that have been able to kick 4 goals in a row and able to take this 9-point lead?
Well, it feels like a little bit of flatness has come out of Richmond, but you know, Essendon this quarter have kicked 3 goals from stoppages to the 1 with Richmond, so they're just starting to get a bit more reward from their stoppage wins at the moment and being able to put pressure on this Richmond side. I think they're up to 5 goals, 2 from stoppages to 1 goal, so half their score has come from stoppages from Essendon.
They've been a little bit more decisive and a bit more effective with ball in hand as well. I think that was a feature of their game in the first quarter. They just seemed to be turning the ball over at crucial times, whereas that ability to just be decisive with the ball has put them in good positions to send the ball forward.
Just saw on your screen before, they're plus 26 points scores from stoppage so far, the Bombers, in this game.
They're also going at 70% kicking efficiency this quarter versus 50% in the first quarter.
Garner, good handball away. And it falls to Yassine. Good look at the goals. Gets one back for the Tigers, and he's rightly pumped. Back to a 1-kick game.
Yassine's just one of those players that just seems to pop up every single week with a few goals and some really great craft. So he's a real energy lifter for this Richmond side, and an important goal.
Yeah, it's his 7th goal of this VFL season. His 5th year in Richmond's VFL side. He started as a train-on player with the Tigers back in 2022. And he's become an integral member of the side. Still just 22 years of age, Todd, as well. And he's coming off an excellent season last year. 19 goals for the Tigers.
He was spoken last year around the mid-season draft. So I'm not sure if sides are still looking for a small forward. They wouldn't look too far away from him.
3-point lead for the Bombers. Dowling to Nyko. Able to get the hand pass cleanly away in the end. Haitley inside 50. On the lead there was Eckersley, but falls to Smith at the back. Connolly, the sidestep, the feign, and the shrewd pass to Toner, who again has worked all the way up to half back. In fact, almost in the back pocket. El Noor. Nankara. Hugging the line, a lie. Was it tapped out of bounds? It wasn't. 2 opening quarter goals for Sean Lai. Towards half forward with a long left foot kick. Up high was Fawcett. Just dropped it at the last minute. Tigers have numbers at the fall of the ball still. Collier burrows through. Handballs to Houghton. Classy mover. Off to Smith. Kicks to the top of the goal square. 2-on-1 against Ryan. There was some holding off the ball. And it will be a free kick in the end to the Bombers and Staropoli. Toner was looking to intercept. Ball just held up though, and Gallagher marks for Essendon. Nyko. Oh, missed Gallagher with the hand pass, and Garner can pounce. Waited for a play to present. Toner swings on the left, and that never looked like it. Just a little window of opportunity, Geordie, for the Tigers, though, to strike late, you sense, in this second quarter.
Yeah, you could see their switch play out of defence. They wanted to really get the ball moving once they'd accessed that open side. And that, again, we talk about their grit for a team that last week had no AFL listed players and only 3 out there today. They're so organised and they seem so aligned on how they want to move the ball forward, and no doubt very coachable. Big 2-on-2 here. Egan inside 50. Has it been touched? They're waiting to pounce. Nyko, Eckersley, take your pick. I reckon the goal's to Eckersley. The Bombers keep their feet, and they're the beneficiaries in the goal square. Second goal for Jared Eckersley, who was in the right place at the right time, and it came through some corridor transition, Todd.
When they're able to hit the targets and use the ball efficiently, they're looking really, really dangerous. And Jared Eckersley made the right decision just to make sure of the goal, just in case it was touched. Might have cost his first game or his first goal, but better safe than sorry.
That's the most direct route to goal, isn't it? That ability to access a free player inside the ground. And on such a short field like Windy Hill, it only takes 2.5 kicks to travel from half back to full forward. A really dangerous centering kick there that tumbled out the back.
Umpires hit the turf afterwards. Just look a little bit choppy in the middle of Windy Hill there. Ryan gets the free kick for Richmond. Sellers stands tall and marks. So this is Nick Staropoli who has the ball here. He's on the mid-season draft radar as the siren sounds. That's an unfortunate story from the first half. Tom Sims in his first competitive game for the Tigers, the AFL listed forward, going down with a suspected knee injury late in that second quarter. He was shattered. He'll have scans to confirm the severity of that setback. From a scoreboard perspective, the Bombers have kicked 5 of the last 6 goals of the game, and it means they've turned a 10-point quarter-time deficit into a 9-point half-time lead. As we head downstairs, Nick Cox is with Drew Jones.
Thank you, Ben. Nick, great finish to the quarter for you guys. 5 of the last 6 goals. What changed?
Just being more predictable to each other, I think. We're set up for how we want to play and just using that, honouring it, being predictable to each other. Pressure was a lot better around the footy, sticking tackles, so hopefully we can continue that into the next
half.
Nice start for you, a couple of goals and a bit of work in the ruck as well.
Yeah, a bit of work in the ruck. Been a while since I've been in there, so it's always nice. Yeah, a couple of snags, always nice to get on the scoreboard, but yeah, got to focus to win the next half now, so we need to go get it done.
Go catch up with the boys, mate. Well done.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Drew. Promising start for Nick Cox in this game. His Bombers hold a 9-point lead at the major change. We'll break it all down in our halftime show. Coming up right after this. VFL action from Windy Hill to kick off Super Saturday here on Fox Footy, and we have got a cracking game of VFL action. The Bombers and the Tigers going head-to-head. It was a 10-point lead for Richmond at quarter time, but the Bombers have kicked 5 of the last 6 goals. It's been high energy, high emotion, and it means that Essendon have a 9-point lead at the major break. Ben Waterworth with you alongside Collingwood Best and Fairest winner Geordie Allen and the North Melbourne All-Australian ruck Todd Goldstein team. Let's have a look at the first half highlights, and it started pretty well for both teams. It was an arm wrestle early before Richmond kicked 4 goals late in that first quarter, Geordie, And it looks like they had the ascendancy early. They started the game really strongly.
Yeah, they had a 10-point lead coming into the second quarter. And then Essendon were just able to nudge their way back. They started to get the game a little bit more on their terms, a little bit more decisive with the ball in hand. As we mentioned, their kicking efficiency improved from 50 to 79%, so they were a lot more effective with ball in hand, which just meant that when they were going forward, they were able to capitalise and put them in a position to be 9 points up at half-time.
And from an Essendon perspective, Todd, when they've gone forward, they've had a couple of really lively targets up there. Nick Cox has looked really confident going at the ball. Jared Eckersley is bobbed up, and Jade Newen's doing some crafty things inside the arc.
Yeah, when they get their ball forward and give their forwards an opportunity, they look really dangerous. They just haven't been able to get there quite consistently enough, and it's those mid-arc turnovers which has really cost Essendon early on. And the more they can get through that period and use the ball well, the more effective they're going to be.
You've both spoken about Jackson Binns in that first half. The former Carlton listed player joined Essendon's VFL side so far this season, averaging the 22 disposals heading into today. He's already got the 14, and he's doing a mountain of work, Geordie, on the wing for the Bombers.
Yeah, I just love what he does with the footy in hand. He's had 14 disposals. He's 70% by foot, so extremely efficient, really decisive with ball in hand. I think he's been crucial for them today. He was rewarded with a goal of his own, and I think that was the coming of the second quarter. He was able to really assert himself and put his position, put the team in front.
Half-time here at Windy Hill. It's the Bombers holding a 9-point lead. We'll continue the analysis with a Richmond focus on the other side of this from Windy Hill.
kick inside forward 50. He gets out the back, and here is Tona's moment.
Tona again, if you don't mind. Oh, it's a one-man show.
I remember one Tuesday I was just on site working, and then I got a call from Nick Cox, the Dandenong coach at the time, and he had said, send me a few of your clips, we'd love to get you down. And then by that Tuesday night I was training. I loved my time there. It was only got to play the 3 games until I broke my wrist, unfortunately. It was such a more professional environment. It got the best out of me as a footballer as well, and I think as a person. The injury couldn't have probably come at a worse time, but I remember I just got my state combine invite, and I remember I was like 3 weeks ago, I was just versing people in local footy, and now I'm going to be trying out in front of AFL scouts.
Sends it all the way to the pocket. It looked pretty good, the young guns. That was Tona again.
I'd met with Richmond in the draft process, and Ollie Grant, who was the VFL coordinator at that time, Ollie just didn't rush me, just gave me all the time and opportunity and said, there's an offer down here if you want to come. And I remember first training session, I come here and I was just like where am I? Like, this is just nuts. Like, I'm training at Punt Road. This is the place you walk past when you go into the G watching footy. I'm playing really confident, which I think it's really helping me. Instead of being very worried about what's going on around me and the outside noise, I've just really knuckled down on my footy, and I think that's just allowed me to play freely.
Tona was talked about as a potential mid-season draft recruit, and with a bag of 5 today, his name will be right there again.
I'm a lot more settled at this point than I was probably the previous year. I think I just need to rely on my footy. My footy is going to do the talking. My footy is going to get me drafted if it does happen. It's not the be-all or end-all for me. It's just I'll keep going and keep trying.
Sam Tona is a player on the radar of AFL clubs. Prior to today, Geordie Allen, his most disposals in a game was 18. He's got 17 at half-time, and you sense he's not done yet.
He is not done yet. Real smooth mover. We spoke about his running capacity, his ability to work up and down the ground. He's just a workhorse for this Richmond team, and a very well-spoken young man. He's got a good head on his shoulders.
And you've also liked the game so far from Liam George of the Tigers, the number 67, who's come out of the Mooroolbark Footy Club there in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. He's been very lively, particularly in the forward half of the ground.
Yeah, he has, and he's contributed to 6 of Richmond's scores going forward. He's just the type of player who just has his hand in everything. He narrowly missed the goals on one occasion, but I just love he just shows up for the Richmond players and was able to just put his players in good positions.
So a massive Super Saturday here on Fox. Following this match, we are heading straight to North Melbourne and Gold Coast. And there's a reasonably significant game at the MCG at 4 o'clock as well. It's Scott Pendlebury's record-breaking 433rd game. But at the same time on 5:03, the Cats and the Swans, 2 premiership contenders going at it, and then Yardapudi and Carlton to finish off a massive day here on Fox Footy. On the other side of this break, we'll have the second half between the Tigers and the Bombers. It's Essendon holding a 9-point lead here at Windy Hill. Third quarter action not too far away here at Windy Hill. It's Essendon leading Richmond by 9 points in this VFL clash. Ben Waterworth with you alongside Geordie Allen and Todd Goldstein. And downstairs, packaging up all the news, is Drew Jones. And Drew, just when the Tigers thought they might have a little bit of good injury luck, Tom Sims went down in that first half.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a really shocking situation for Tom Sims. So you can see really emotional as he twisted his knee late in that second quarter. We saw him on crutches at halftime. He didn't want to be stretched off the ground, but was helped back to the rooms by a couple of trainers. So Adam Uza actually spoke on SEN Radio a short time ago. He says it's not looking good, and I think understandably, they don't want to preempt anything, and he'll have scans on that knee, but the expectation is that he's got quite a serious knee injury. His first game back in 287 days, elbow issues, ankle issues, and a navicular stress fracture. He hasn't played footy for a long time, and it's rotten luck for Tom Sims. His family comforting him at half-time as he faces another long stint on the sidelines.
Thanks, Drew. That's devastating news for Tom Sims. We wish him and his family all the best. As we get underway here in the third quarter, the Bombers have kicked 5 of the last 6 goals of this game, and they hold a 9-point advantage. O'Neill gets the first clearance of the third term. It's a high kick inside 50. Cox already kicked 2 goals in this game, somehow able to kick it forward. Bella couldn't quite get boot to ball. Pollock's brought down. Jones, did he get his hands free? / have prior? Doesn't matter. It'll be a ball up inside Essendon's forward 50. A good matchup, that between El Noor and Harry Jones. Ryan decisively down. Elachka tackled by Sharkey. El Noor involved again. Sharkey wants holding the ball and gets holding the ball.
Just the importance of keeping your feet in those situations. The umpires are looking just for someone to bail him out and jump on it to give away a free kick.
Sharkey's kick turned over. Straight down the throat of Gallagher, who wastes no time and spots a teammate inside 50. And now Charlie Naish has an opportunity for his first VFL goal. Out of the Northern Knights and old Ivanhoe, Charlie Naish, his dad Chris kicked 228 goals from 161 games for the Tigers in Port Adelaide. It led to Charlie's brother Pat getting a father-son selection with Richmond. Played 20 games for the Tigers and the Eagles. Now Charlie Naish on debut for Essendon's VFL side today. From just inside 50. Floats to the right. Squeezes in for a behind. And we're back to that 10-point differential between the two sides.
Just watching Will Bella, bottom of screen here. He's back on, but he's looking a little bit ginger. Yep. Obviously coming in after half-time, an ankle injury. Maybe he'll warm up throughout the quarter, but still looking a little bit ginger.
Fawcett. Excellent contested mark. Great size at 197 centimetres. Play on the call there, so Lai put under the pump, and Fawcett has very deliberately handballed that over the line and out of bounds, but nonetheless he was called for holding the ball. Either way you look at it, it's a free kick here for Cal Jarine.
I think he gave away about 4 different free kicks in the one moment.
Hoping for Newen, just fell short of him. Newen didn't give away the free kick. Comes back to Haitley. Always looks like he's got so much time in his hands, Jackson Haitley. Farinado can't quite escape the grasp of his Richmond opponent. Going back with courage, Naish. But in the end, Sharkey was first to the footy. Low. Good contest between the two players. Lai switches the ball to the opposite back pocket. Pollux towards the wing. Big one-on-one here. Past Kondogiannis. Falls into the lap of Houghton. Has George over the top. Awkward half volley not taken. Nyko. Sellers. All the way out to Mackay. Experienced Essendon VFL campaigner, Solomon Mackay. Kick flared wide here to Cox. Impressive opening half from Nick Cox. Burke, third game today for Essendon's VFL side, was hoping for Jones, went over his head. But Killian Burke, an Irish product, Todd Goldstein, playing his, as I mentioned, his third VFL game, still very raw to the sport.
Yeah, and he had a bad hamstring injury in the pre-season, so he missed a lot of his pretty much the whole pre-season. Played no practice matches to start the game, so it's just good to get him out there and get an opportunity to learn the game of AFL.
Cox just a little worse for wear after the ruck contest. As Burke able to get the hand pass away. O'Neill now for Renato inside 50. Elnor standing back in the hole. Pollux might have called him out of it. Smith, Elnor. Well-weighted pass. And he finds Collier. Risky kick, but in the end, Binns didn't go to try and intercept Street. The Tigers working along the wing. Houghton doing a mountain of work. Receives and goes. Looks into the 50. 2-on-2. At the back, Kondogiannis got it to ground level. Yassine lurking dangerously. George was taken without the ball or pushing the back. He's a little sore. But what he has done is he's earned himself a set shot opportunity. As you mentioned, Geordie's a player so far in this game where a lot of his disposals have turned into Richmond scores.
Yeah, and here's an opportunity for him to hit the scoreboard himself and convert for 6 points. He's got a behind to his name, but yeah, well-earned free kick there, putting his head over it.
His 44th game for Richmond's VFL side. He can't convert. Misses the loss, in fact. And out of bounds on the full.
It's one of those ones, yeah, the argument always is if you go for a snap and you miss it, better off going for a drop punt.
Yep. Cox will come from behind. His contested marking today, Todd, has been a real feature.
Yeah, he's so athletic. He's got such good hands. That's what you want. You want him to get a good run jump at the footy.
O'Neill up to Cox, just the 15 metres. Disposal number 14 coming up for him. Stat padding here with O'Neill. This time O'Neill shares it with Haitley. He's coming up for his 14th disposal. So methodical build-up here for the Dons. Jarine. Normally renowned as a good kick, but that is an exception. Garner looking to pounce. Hand pass away to Street. George received and turned. Couldn't find a teammate. Bombers get the reprieve. Brodie brings it away. And mark taken here by Dowling. Cox on the wing has two to beat, but he beats them both. Great signs here for Bombers fans. Nick Cox playing with confidence and authority, and then he nails the kick into the arc. There's a couple of Bombers on over the top. Haitley was, in the end, pretty well held up by the player on the mark. He might have the set shot.
Beautiful kick there to split a couple of Richmond defenders there.
I think Jackson Haitley might have looked like he wanted to give it off, but he was might have been in his mind going back to have the shot on goal anyway.
He's already kicked one goal so far today, part of that second quarter blitz from the Bombers. No goals so far in the third term, as Haitley skips in and lets it fly. Does it have the legs? Has it been touched? It's clean bowled. A stack of players on the goal line. Haitley has his second, and the Bombers have the first of the third term.
Wasn't pretty, but it got there. It was that flying saucer spin, and just they just did enough on the goal line just to get it through. But a few tall timbers standing on the goal line from Richmond who just couldn't affect the ball going over the goal line. What a kick from Cox, though.
He's been an integral member of this Essendon VFL side now, Jackson Haitley, for the past 3 seasons. That's his 28th goal in his 43rd game. Probably not his prettiest, as Geordie said, but they will take the 6 points. And Essendon now out to their biggest lead of the game at 16 points. A total flip from the second quarter, where Richmond held a 16-point lead, so a 32-point turnaround. Egan in the middle, brought down by Collier. Garner pounces, can't find a teammate directly. Ryan got the ball moving forward, and now Collier out of congestion. Accelerates away, kicks to the goal line. Toner can't juggle the mark. It stays in play. Street down there has the ball held to him by Sellers. Sellers and Toner have some words of affection. Awkward ball up here, right near the boundary line and the behind post. Spills wide though to Sellers. High kick to the advantage of Street in the end though, away from Newen. 8th VFL season for Lachlan Street. He spears it inside 50. Might have been a slight miscommunication there between Cantwell and Houghton. Allows the Bombers to come away from defence. Kick away from Jones, Staropoli rather, as Pollux is brought down in the tackle.
You can see Will Bella looks very sore, but he's just competing for his side, which is great to see.
Taking a leaf out of Jai Caldwell's book from last night. As Lockwood lopes away and thumps it towards forward 50. That's a nice intercept mark from Gerard, who's become an accomplished defender for the Bombers VFL setup. Ryan Brodie. O'Neill. Team high 16 touches now for the captain. It's a high switch, but no issues for Kondogiannis. That's an issue though. Kick over the head of Gallagher. And a couple of Tigers here to mop up. Houghton has support from Connolly. A couple of ex-Saints linking up there. Now Cantwell ignores the lead of Fawcett, and what a smart move it was, because Toner was in a mountain of space.
And Toner's clearly just released himself off that offside there.
He wheels around and snaps through his second goal of the game. And Richmond get a much-needed goal as we tick towards halfway through this third quarter.
That's his work rate, to just release himself. He's clearly transitioned up the ground as that forward to get back on defence, and as they've won this ball on the wing, he's just outworked his defender to find himself in free space out the back. And what a great inside 50 by Houghton, just to be able to locate him in a paddock of space, and that equals Toner now. He's equaling his disposal record.
Yes. Just getting word from downstairs from Drew Jones that Tom Sims has left for scans on his knee. So we hope for the best for Tom Sims, who, if you've just joined us, went down with an injury early in that second quarter. His first competitive game of the season. Inside 50, Bella. Might be on one leg, but still good enough to take the contested mark. He's got a couple of players just outside the goal square, but Haitley couldn't quite grab it cleanly. And again, the Tigers can pounce off turnover. Force it to Yassine. Open forward line, you can see in your screens there. He goes for the handball. Instead, he was looking for Stewart, but Burke able to win it back. Gerine, Kondogiannis, a couple of listed Bombers there. Link up, kick a bit too hot for Brodie. Allows Lai to come through. Newen is the sandwich in that, in the meat in that Tiger sandwich there rather. And a ball up ensues.
Yassine needed to use Stewart a little bit earlier there, just allowed the Essendon defender to wrap around the back of the person on the mark, which meant that loopy handball just wasn't able to carry over to him.
Holding free kick off the ball. Called by the non-controlling umpire on that occasion. Coming back to Jackson Haitley, the former Giant and Crow. Ferronato. First season with Essendon's VFL set up after a couple with Carlton's VFL side. Interesting Forward kick there coming from Haitley. Cox applying the pressure, forcing the stoppage. Huge Super Saturday here on Fox Footy. After this game, we're heading to Marvel for the Kangaroos and the Suns. And then all eyes to the MCG for Scott Pendlebury's record-breaking 433rd game as Collingwood take on the Eagles. And at the same time, Geelong and Sydney in a blockbuster clash down at GMHBA Stadium. Yassine, first to meet it, had Sellers for company. Tackle applied there from Stewart. Rather Loftus on that occasion. Farinado, the Northern Knights' best and fairest back in 2023. There's a knock off the ball, and it's going to be coming back here to the Tigers. Garner. Thumps it forward on that left boot. Lockwood has drifted forward. Can't quite take the mark. Does the follow-up work and forces a forward 50 stoppage. Played ruck last week, started in defence. This week, Zayden Lockwood. Now he's lurking around this stoppage. Kondogiannis puts it straight down the throat of El Noor. Congested forward 50 now for Richmond. Smith kicks in hope. Who's going to be the flyer? It's a great mark for Boston Dowling. The big ruck getting back to intercept. Covers the ground pretty well, Boston Dowling.
He does, and I think his marking and his ability to impact in the air, that's the next step for him to take. If he wants to get a chance to get on an AFL list, that's his best chance to be able to do it.
Methodical pinpoint ball use here from Essendon out of defence. Nyko.
Great kick.
Hits up Naish. Farinado starting to get busy. Pulls the trigger with a deep kick inside. 50! And the mark has been taken by Eckersley. That's the advantage of playing in front.
That's it, and he just took advantage of Staropoli there. Staropoli just got on the back of his number, but that ability to drop the ball to the advantage of Eckersley there, it's incredibly hard to defend when a ball comes in low like that.
Kicked 2 goals for the Bombers in the second quarter. An efficient game so far from Jared Eckersley. Half of his disposals have led to goals for Essendon.
Just feels like Richmond are going to need a big moment to spark themselves up. It feels like a little bit of sting out of their tail has gone since that Sims injury. They just haven't been able to quite get that same energy, that same ferociousness to attack the contest like they were early in the first half.
You saw the Bombers use a bit of patience coming out of defence there, and it paid dividends. So Jared Eckersley, first play today to 3 goals. 6 disposals for him. It was Essendon's leading goal kicker back in 2024 VFL season. Clearance for Egan. El Noor used his body well. And Smith for support. Kicks up towards the wing. Awkward bounce there for Stewart. Falls to the back. And Kondogiannis assured there with a pick-up, but missed his teammate with a hand pass. Holding the ball is the call against Mackenzie. And Burke with a confidence-boosting tackle and free kick there.
Really clinical stuff from Essendon at the beginning of this quarter. They were -9 for disposals at half-time, and now they're leading by 28 disposals. Richmond can hardly get their hands on it, only 39 disposals for the quarter, although they have been crucial when they've been quite efficient with it when they've got it, but you can't do much with 39 disposals. So that's why Essendon have gained the ascendancy in this quarter so far.
Richmond AFL Brains Trust, led by senior coach Adam Uze, watching on. I'll be impressed with Caleb Smith's game. He's been pretty busy. This is his 5th disposal of the quarter. He's got Toner working hard, as always, on the wing. Houghton. Back to Toner, who provides the drive.
20th disposal there.
Chips it short to Collier. This time the Tigers with the patient build-up. He'll kick to a congested forward 50. Sellers. Some serious defensive presence from Tyler Sellers. Played as a forward at North Melbourne and the start of his Essendon VFL stint, but he looks assured down back. Naish, clever take there, and then had time to assess. And they've got the outnumber here, but Smith went back and took a clever intercept mark.
A few times that the ball hasn't found Harry Jones. He's just shown a little bit of frustration.
Yeah. Just hasn't quite been his day. Solid Richmond defence. Utah's El Nor on him. Garner, quick hands to Lai. Another inside 50 for Richmond, forcing at the back, as is Ryan. Toner, let Cox take it, then try to apply the tackle. Cox ran out of bounds. Here's an opportunity for the Tigers. 9 inside 50s apiece so far this quarter, but 2 goals to 1 in favour of Essendon.
Fawcett looks a bit proppy on his ankle in the goal square as well.
Gosh, we'll keep our eyes on that. Cox doing the ruck work. Tackle from Harry Scott. Renato first to meet it, then Brodie arrives to clear the danger. A couple of Tigers waiting to pounce. Connolly was one of them. His kick is spoiled away, but it's been spoiled inside 50 here for Richmond. And Collier locks it up to force a forward 50 stoppage. Todd's right, just need that Richmond moment here to spark them. Who can provide it? Garner's kick smothered off the boot. Brought down by Naish. A 16-point advantage for Essendon after trailing by 16 points early in the second quarter. The Bombers will clear congestion. Burke with a nice sidestep. Handball towards Staropoli, back to Burke. And now Ferronato towards, almost kicking towards the runner. And in the end, well weighted by Loftus, backed his composure on that occasion. George dropped it, but Toner was there waiting to pounce. Back to George, went along the turf, and as far as Gallagher, spears it straight into Richmond vicinity. McKenzie, Collier, neither team at the moment can just hit that finishing kick going inside 50. O'Neill, Kondogiannis, Naish. Took some tired players out there, but we've still got a lot of game time to go. Kondogiannis was dealt with after he handballed, so advantage is paid. Now a big one-on-one. No free kick paid to Pollux, but Richmond get the ball back anyway. Huge tackle from behind from Mackay. Essendon wants holding the ball and will get holding the ball. Collier perplexed. O'Neill, inside 50. Kick was well weighted. Binns waiting. Has support behind. Clever hand in there, though, from Loftus. He's got 3 Bombers around him, and this would be a great result if it was a ball up because he was seriously outnumbered.
Well done there by Loftus. Just an ability to get a hand in there, create a turnover, and cause a crucial stoppage. Allows his team to set up.
He hasn't had a lot of the footy, but he's had some really important touches in his back line in this third quarter.
Free kick coming back here to Toner. Coming up for his 22nd disposal of the game. inside 50. Kondogiannis able to thump the ball away. He was had a lot of interest in the second round of last year's draft. Max Kondogiannis out of the Q Rovers and Oakley Chargers. He was taken by Essendon, but linked to the likes of Geelong, Richmond, West Coast, Sydney, Collingwood. The Bombers able to pounce in the end at pick 36. Dowling grabs it out of the ruck, kicks it forward. Elachka hasn't seen a lot of the ball in this third quarter. Jones, tackled by Nancaro, but able to find Elachka. Good composure by the Bombers there. Ferronato inside 50. In front, nice mark by Sharkey. Trying to earn the 50. Naish very kindly gives him the ball back to reset the Tigers. El Noor, straight down the middle to Stewart. Tigers really need the next goal of the game to hit the fourth quarter with some momentum, but this Bombers defence, Todd in particular, has stood tall and formed a nice defensive wall.
Yeah, I think their control of the footy and their uncontested markets, allowing their defence to come up higher and really set up the ground really well, and it's been really hard for Richmond to be able to penetrate that.
Richmond coach Jack Madgen looking on. Tigers looking to break a 4-game losing streak in the VFL. In the end, no one came at Mackay. He comes through. Nyko shrugs the tackle. Did he get boot to ball? Umpire said play on. Mackay gets another look inside 50. Jones, was he held? In fact, it was Bella in front. And Bella will have the free kick and the set shot, or in fact, he handballs it off. Cox is waiting from outside 50 on the left. It swings right. Oh, the boot, he had the distance. El Noor lets him know all about the behind. But in the end, Essendon still holds that 17-point lead.
Didn't quite get the purchase he wanted on that. Seemed that he struck it a bit high off almost off his shin there. Definitely in for the distance, just didn't have the accuracy.
Well, Cox gets one back there on El Noor. Sellers with the intercept mark. Umpire saw the incident there, but didn't pay a reversal free kick. Eckersley's claiming it. Umpire didn't pay it. Take 2 for Cox. Same result this time. The right boot, and off to the left for a behind.
A little bit of interest on that from El Noor there.
It was right in front of the umpire. The umpire sees anything to do with the jumper. No free kick though. Dowling put under the hammer there. He's tackled by Yassine. Still, the Bombers hold this 3-goal lead. Just the 3 majors in this third quarter, 2 to Essendon, 1 to Richmond. Scott clears congestion. Decisively thumped away there from Gallagher. Second year in Essendon's VFL program, Kieran Gallagher. His 4th game so far of this 2026 season. One of the late inclusions for the Bombers today, along with Jake Egan, with Will Setterfield and Elijah Sardis managed as a result of last night's AFL injuries. Sharkey. Lie.
Great ball user, Sharkey. 83% by foot today.
Lie's kick smothered off the boot. Well played in the end by Mackay. And Haitley can provide some drive from the back line. They ran out of time. Much shorter quarter from the first, compared to the first 2 quarters, that one. But Essendon holding an 18-point advantage as we turn for home. 12-11-83. Richmond 10-5, 65. Fourth quarter coming up on the other side of this. It was a hot start for Richmond's VFL side. They shot out to a 16-point lead in the second quarter off the back of some terrific ball movement. Sean Lai kicked a couple of early goals, but the Bombers have hit back. They've kicked 7 of the last 9 goals. They've shown some great craft inside forward 50. Jared Eckersley has 3 goals, and Jaden Newen with this goal of the day so far, one of 2 majors for him. And as we turn for home, Cameron Joyce's side leads by 18 points. Ben Waterworth with you, alongside Collingwood Best and Fairest winner Geordie Allen and the 345-game legend Todd Goldstein. And Todd, Jackson Haitley has played a key role for the Bombers in their comeback, which has seen them kick 7 of the last 9 goals.
Yeah, and he's such a good ball user when he gets it as well. He's got 19 disposals at 92% kicking efficiency. So one of the few players that has been able to consistently hit targets, and you know, the more the ball can get in his hands, the better it is for Essendon.
And it's particularly Geordie with no Elijah Sardis and Will Setterfield today. The vice-captain's really stood up at the coalface.
Yeah, that's it. And he's had 10 contested possessions as well. He's leading all comers in that area of the ground as well. So been crucial in winning the ball at really, really important moments for the Bombers.
Essendon coach Cameron Joyce is with Drew Jones.
Thank you, Ben. Cam, feels like you've been in control for the last hour or so. What's allowed you to maintain the ascendancy in this game?
Yeah, I think, you know, we've certainly focused at half-time on our ball security, you know, like being able to really hold that ball in, you know, drive our legs, you know, make sure we can get that ball forward when we get an opportunity, because I felt a little bit early we sort of coughed it up a little bit. And then certainly we were able to possess the ball a little bit on them in that third quarter and build the ball up a bit. So I think we almost had 30 uncontested marks that quarter. So we'll be looking to try and do the same thing again.
It was like Nick Cox has responded really well to coming back into the side. Almost 20 disposals, 3 contested marks, a couple of goals.
Yeah, he's been terrific. Like, you know, his attitude coming back's fantastic first and foremost, which gives him a chance to perform. So, you know, his ability to jump at the footy and take some, as I said, really strong marks, like you mentioned, and just give us a real good focal point forward of the ball and also in the ruck.
Good luck in the last quarter, Coach.
Thanks, mate. Ta.
Great insight there from Cameron Joyce, particularly about the strategy heading into the third quarter. Todd with the uncontested marks, the 30 uncontested marks in that quarter, and it looks like more of the same in this quarter.
Yeah, I think if Essendon watched last week's Richmond game, they would have seen the pressure and the tackles, and you know, the best way to be unpressured is by getting those uncontested marks. So to be able to control the game like they did in that third quarter really makes it hard for Richmond to use their one wood, which is their pressure.
Well, is that the key here, Geordie, for the Tigers to get back into this game? Is just pressure, 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 and the rest will take care of itself?
I think so. I think we saw it work really well for them last week. I think it really ignites. It's a good place to start. It ignites a lot of energy in a group if you can win some really hard ball and get the ball forward with a bit of grit.
Fourth quarter underway. Bombers by 18 points. They've been dominant since halfway through the second quarter. Can the Tigers strike early at the start of the last? Haitley had the ball ripped away from him. Collier kicks it forward. Strong grab from Houghton. Classy ball user. And that is no exception. Lace out pass for Fawcett, who marks, but he's in a tough spot. He passes it off. Oh, it's dropped in the end by Cantwell. And a fumble at the back from McKenzie just allows the Bombers to pounce, but through comes the captain. Street drills it inside 50, and if the Tigers have ever needed Sam Toner to stand up, it's right now. One of the hottest players in the VFL competition. .22 disposals, a career high, a VFL career high for Sam Toner today. Has clubs chasing him. Sam is the man at the start of the fourth quarter for Richmond. Big time goal from the start, and he draws the Tigers within a couple of goals.
Really took his time there. That's what you love to see. I think he was initially looking to chip the ball inside, but I think that's a feature of a great forward. You know, you don't want to over-possess the ball inside 50, and he's clearly got the class and the knack to be able to finish from an incredibly difficult angle with the check side kick.
And you've got to give him credit as well. There's obviously a lot of pressure coming to this weekend with the mid-season draft so close, and to come out and have 23 and 3 goals in just over 3 quarters of footy is an incredible notch in his belt, and I think it'll put him on a few more clubs' radar.
So he has been linked to Richmond's AFL side, but he's also got interest reportedly from the Western Bulldogs and Geelong as well. So Victorian clubs are circling Sam Toner. He's got 3 goals today. He's putting in one heck of an audition. Ryan kicks it deep inside 50. Toner caught behind. He might have gone a bit early, and he's given away the free kick. But he's feeling it. Sellers thumps it away. Cox through his hands, but Dowling was there waiting to pounce. Spills to the outside here. Mackay into the middle. Might open up here for Newen. Big one-on-one here. Big bump as well. Street coming the other way. How about Newen? Bounced straight back to his feet. Naish misses to the right. Great contest here at Windy Hill.
Street just came off Naish there and knew he had to impact, and impact he did, but Newen didn't take a backward step either. It's just good, honest footy.
Unsurprising to see Jade Newen get straight back to his feet like that, Todd.
Not at all. It's like he's made a rubber that he would not have shirked away from that. Even if he saw him coming, he would not have stopped. He would have gone even harder through him.
13-point differential. Houghton almost ran his full measure. Put the ball on the turf. Kicked inside 50. And a big mark there for Brodie. And a couple of Richmond players to beat. And he came up with the intercept. Burke. Kondogiannis. Touch number 17 for Max Kondogiannis. He goes through the corridor, and what a kick to Gerine. And they are off the Bombers. Deep kick inside 50, and Bella on one leg takes the mark. Did he play on? He did play on. Didn't want to have the set shot, but it's in good hands. Elachka's not missing that. Awesome ball movement from the Bombers, and it was set up, Todd, by an epic centering kick from Max Kondogiannis.
And that's what he brings to this footy side, is that just the ability to use the ball well, to use the right options. And, you know, when you get a kick like that, which is 45 metres down the corridor, it's going to set up good things. And, you know, Richmond have to be aware now that Will Bella does not want to kick the football at all, and they need to be aware for that ready for that handball.
Could you see Al Noor probably used to being the taller of the matchup, but Bella just floated in front of him there on one leg and was able to take the ball at full stretch.
And Elachka with 2 goals for the Bombers today. He kicked Essendon's first goal of the game early in the first quarter. And a steadying goal for the Bombers. Burke retreats. Here's Kondogiannis again. This time goes via hand to Farinado. And Nyko working hard on the wing. Takes a bounce. Looks towards the 50-metre arc. And Elachka again. Takes the mark. Hits the ground running. Loves a snap. But he can't bend it back enough. Did have a golden opportunity to have a set shot look, but backed his instinct on that occasion. The Bombers lead by 20. El Noor drives it from the defensive goal square. Kondogiannis and Gerine combine. Nyko slips the tackle, feigns the hand pass, kicks forward, misses his target. Well played by Connolly, but still an opportunity for Binns, who pounces. And Nancarrow comes out and intercepts in front of Bella.
Maybe Bella isn't the type of person you want to hit on a lead today. Just pop it on his head, I think.
Back inside 50 go. The Bombers, Nancarrow went up high. Elachka lurking dangerously. Can he get boot to ball? He applies the tackle. There's a free kick coming back here to the Tigers in the last line. Back to Pollux. Newen ensuring no easy mark there for Loftus. El Noor. 13th touch for him, short to Garner. Everything he sense really needs to go right for the Tigers from here, considering the momentum Essendon has had since halfway through the second quarter. Giannis lets it go. It'll be a last disposal free kick.
Richmond just need to find a way to bring their small forwards, their fire starters in Yassine and Stewart, who were so important for them last week into this game, because both of them are down the bottom of the disposal getters and they just haven't been able to get into this footy match so far.
Jerine fumbled, but luckily had time to assess. And he kicks into the middle and sets up the Dons again. Dowling. From 2 kicks, they go from full back to full forward. Bella provided a contest. He's bravely going on, and you can trust Huss close to goal. Elachka has 3.
Jerine almost coughed it up twice inside 50, but that's a feature of a great defender. He was just able to kick it out and find Dowling, and we've spoken about this direct route to goal and being able to just get it to a really dangerous spot that puts the Richmond defence under enormous pressure, and Hussein Al-Ajkar just gets it done. He's been quiet today. He hasn't done an awful lot, but 2 goals off 2 touches this quarter so far. That's all you need to be able to put a stamp on a game as a small forward.
So it's his 4th bag of 3 goals or more in the VFL. So his last 4 games in the VFL, he's gone 4 goals, 3 goals, 3 goals, and now 3 goals today with time left. He's a natural goal kicker. He's shown that at all levels. He played last year in his draft year, and he's showing it at VFL level this year. Scott with the inside 50 here as the Tigers now trail by 26 points. Sellers and Fawcett battle it out at ground level. Giannis escorts it over the paint.
They're going to get back in this game. It needs to come from this forward 50 stoppage, and those smalls going to have to get involved and create something out of nothing, it feels.
Game high lead now for Essendon. No one in the ruck for Richmond here, so Dowling just gains 10 metres. Houghton at the back to El Noor. Feign the kick. Off the side of the boot, it's gone inboard. And Burke has marked. Bombers not quite set up forward of the ball, so has to hold the footy up. Goes to a one-on-one over the head of Jones. Out of bounds on the full, and again, he's quite frustrated, Harry Jones. The ball hasn't gone his way. There's Geelong's VFLW side. Taking in the action before they play in the game afterwards here at Windy Hill. Almost another intercept mark for Sellers, but none forthcoming. He's taken 5 intercept marks today, Ty Sellers. Haitley clears. And this time it lands into the lap of Harry Jones, probably when he wasn't expecting it.
Be happy with that.
Eckersley to Newen. They just seem to have a little bit more run at the moment, the Bombers. And they kick inside 50 over the head of Starapino on that occasion. Sharkey intercepts, and opportunity for the Tigers to repel. Houghton. El Noor. Hit the 11-minute mark of the 4th quarter. The Tigers still look to pinpoint past their way through. Street hoping for a runner from behind, but there was none forthcoming. Rush kick forward, and Cox is there to intercept. He's been one of the big positive stories for the Bombers today.
I wonder whether Richmond are trying to go away from their style of footy. I think their handball receive overlap. We know they're really good in a pressure situation. And if you have a handball overlap game, I think that, you know, if you turn the ball over, you've got numbers there to be able to put pressure on the ball. And they're just trying to possess the ball, which I'm not sure that is a feature of their game as much as it is Essendon's.
Staropoli involved in that chain there, and Haitley's been able to mark. Another inside 50 for Essendon. Alachka almost bobbed up again. Pollux has done some great work behind the ball today. He's held up strong for the Richmond defence. 3rd year with the Tigers. Plays his local footy with Baldwin in the Eastern Footy League. Intercept mark number 6, though, for Sellers. He's a thumping kick. It's a short ground here at Windy Hill. He puts it to the top of the goal square. Genuine one-on-one here. Eckersley only needed the one, Duke.
A little bit of fracturing here from Richmond. The first time that you've probably seen some frustration amongst the group today.
Just felt like the first half was a real arm wrestle, and it looks like Essendon may have just broken them a little bit.
For goal number 4, he delivers. A big roar from the Bombers fans, and the Bombers hit the ton. And they are now bound for a pretty impressive victory. And Sellers has set the tone defensively with 6 intercept marks.
Which has been the way they've controlled the ball, and they've been able to set their defence really well. And obviously, with Richmond losing Sims in the first half, they've just taken another tall away from them, so they don't have that tall option to really bring the ball to ground. And you know, I think that's been the big difference, is Essendon's control and ability to set up behind the footy.
4 marks, 4 goals for Jared Eckersley. So he's now got 13 goals so far in this VFL season. And 47 in his VFL career. Newen, been a bundle of energy today. Waiting for a receiver on the outside, instead goes himself and puts the Richmond defence under the pump again. Eckersley almost plucked it. Sharkey working in tandem there as Loftus gets the kick away. Free kick coming back here to Richmond, Essendon rather. Another intercept for Sellers. Stabs it short, dropped by Newen. Ferronato waiting on the outside, applies the tackle. Now a stoppage inside the arc for Essendon to work with. 11-5 inside 50 so far in this 4th quarter. Hurry kick away from Sharkey. But the ball is living in the forward half for Essendon so far this quarter, although George with a strong take there. Gets it to Houghton, who tucks the ball under the arm and accelerates away, and the Tigers are full of running. The ball sits up for Yassine. Cox, wonderful tackle. Nyko follows suit with his own defensive effort, and that is awesome work from the Bombers. They do give away a free kick, but Coach Cameron Joyce, and then you'd sense Coach Brad Scott would be thrilled by that passage of play from Nick Cox and the Bombers.
Super work rate. He worked it from a long way away just to be able to make there and affect the tackle.
Free kick nonetheless to the Tigers. Mohamed Yassine already got 1 goal so far today. 1 goal late in the 2nd quarter. That skews off to the right and doesn't even register a score. Considering how well Richmond started the game, Geordie, this has been an impressive surge from the Bombers since halfway through the 2nd quarter.
It certainly has. It just seems that they were able to possess the ball a little bit more. You heard Cameron Joyce talk about their need to have a little bit more ball security, and having possession of the ball takes the ball out of a contest game, which I think Richmond really wanted in, which complements Essendon's strengths.
Big fly, Nankaro over the top. Wasn't able to take the mark. Street. Able to get the hand pass away, and well done there by O'Neill to call out his teammate and Brodie. The Essendon VFL captain inside 50. Lockwood from the side, but there's no one at the back here for Richmond. Luckily, the ball beats Egan over the line from a Richmond perspective. Ferronato leading ball winner on the ground with 25. O'Neill with 23 for Essendon. And then a career-high VFL 23 touches for Sam Toner to go with 3 goals. Couldn't have done much more for his side today. Awkward bounce, but Newen pounces. Rolled in the tackle and had the ball held to him. Dangerous territory here for the Richmond defence. Jones.
Just the 4 disposals today for Jones, so frustration justified, I think.
His last AFL game was back in round 8 last year. He gets the kick away. The Tigers will clear. Haitley waiting to gobble it up, has got Houghton for company. And again uses that composure. The kick goes high though, so good luck marking that. Loftus had a crack. Farinado with disposal number 26. The Bombers switching it in the middle. Gerine will set up the foray. Spears it inside 50. Eckersley again.
Eckersley's craft has been exceptional today. He's also had some great ball delivery where they've just been giving it to his advantage, which makes his ability to use his exceptional aerial craft to his advantage.
Jared Eckersley having a big day at the office. Sent back to the defence a couple of weeks ago. Making an impact up forward today. Won't have the legs. And that's gone into the behind post. So boundary throw in here. As Essendon looking for their 16th goal of the game.
Did the team thing, just sat up to the top of the goal square.
That's what he'll say. At ground level, Alachka off the ground. Can't keep him out of the game. Can understand why he drew comparisons to now teammate Isaac Kako during his draft year. And the stat I love about Hasalachka, Todd, is that in the under-18 championships last year for Vic Metro, 27 of his 42 disposals ended up in scores for Vic Metro. High-impact player.
And you can just see he's just so smart with what he does with the footy. He makes good decisions, and it's always hard with a small forward. They don't get a lot of touches, so you've got to have to make them count, and he's certainly a star at doing that.
50-metre penalty gifts a goal here for Mohamed Yassin. His second major of the day. A late consolation goal for Richmond. Their second of the fourth quarter. Was it there, Geordie?
I think that's what the umpire was looking for, that front-on contact after the mark had been paid.
Was it after the mark, or was it?
Yeah, well, that's the question. I think Sellers would be a bit frustrated with that. He's had a brilliant game in defence today, and his first blemish, I'd say, for the day.
Yeah, I think it's one of those ones where I think the Richmond supporters thought it was definitely late, and the Essendon supporters thought it was perfectly timed.
Yes. All in the eye of the beholder, as they say. Scott feeds it out. Can't find a teammate. He's done a mountain of work in and under today. Harry Scott for the Tigers. Free kick coming back here to Scott. We'll send the Tigers inside 50. Big pack of players forms. Houghton was up highest. Couldn't grab it. Sellers took his time. Just missed his teammate with the kick, and ball goes out of bounds. So from an Essendon perspective, Todd, what are you taking away from this game from a positive perspective, because there have been a lot of standout performances?
Yeah, I think you take away that there's a little bit of competition for spots there with Max Kondianis, with you also got Nick Cox.
Yep.
You've got Alex Shah. They've all made great performances, and that's what you need, that competition for spots. And I think the way they've controlled this second half as well gives them great confidence in the VFL as well into next week.
Yes, considering the number of injuries that they had at AFL level in particular last night. They've got a bit to work with, at least at VFL level. Jaden Ewan's also been lively. And a couple of goals. So if you're just joining us as well, Tom Sims went down in the second quarter with a knee injury. He's gone off to hospital mid-game for scans on that knee. Adam Uze, in a radio interview during the game as well, said the signs weren't good, but obviously the Tigers will wait for the results of the scans to determine the severity of the setback.
Samson Ryan spent a lot more time forward this quarter. I wonder if that's just getting ready just in case they need a little bit extra height and a little bit another tall down there.
Good pick up, Todd. Here he is, as if on cue. The ball beats him over the line. He's played 28 games, kicked 15 goals for the Tigers AFL side since being taken with pick 40 in the 2020 draft.
Maybe seeing if they can play Hayes Brown and Ryan in the same team.
So, look, pretty decent, Oliver Hayes Brown, since being injected into that AFL side. Straight after this, we're heading to Marvel Stadium for North Melbourne and Gold Coast. First of 4 big AFL games on Super Saturday. Then we turn our attention to the MCG for a historic day. Scott Pendlebury's record-breaking match as Collingwood takes on the West Coast Eagles. Loftus is having a little bit to say there to Jackson Haitley, who's stuffed the stat sheet today, Geordie.
Certainly has. 22 disposals, 2 goals, 12 contested possessions. He just gets it done on the inside.
That is an unbelievable finish. Harry Scott, great Scott, in fact. From the pocket, wrong side for a right footer, has threaded the eye of the needle and come up with an incredible goal on the run. This is high degree of difficulty. Goal umpire didn't have to move much. But he is a serious talent, Harry Scott. In his last 19 games, he's had at least 18 disposals in each one of them. He's a picture of consistency. He's had another 18 and 8 clearances today. Was on the draft radar last season. And still just 21 years of age. Plenty of opportunities for him, you sense. Inside 50 go the Bombers. Nancaro was there with Pollux. Lots of red, though, around the footy. Eckersley still hoping for that 5th goal, and he doesn't get that 5th goal. It was touched off the boot. He celebrated, but he was denied.
I think you might have known it was touched.
One-on-one here, Garner and Binns. Kick from Gallagher was touched off the boot. And a loud groan from Connolly as he fumbled it over the line and out of bounds. We saw Nick Cox playing deep forward for a lot of the game today. That's the direction he's tracking now. As we see this boundary throw in. Haitley runs onto it. Wants to curl it around for a third. Thumped away from Eckersley. Essendon running the game out well, both on the inside and outside. George goes for a trot and flicks it out wide, hoping for Loftus, but the ball eludes him. And the Bombers can set it up again with Sellers. So the Bombers, in the next couple of weeks, this is their first of 3 consecutive games at Windy Hill. They take on Werribee and Carlton in the next couple of weeks. As Pollux stands up again. And they take on Casey at Casey, Essendon. So that's their next 3 games. And then from a Richmond perspective, they've got Sydney away, Tasmania away. So a couple of interstate trips coming up for them. And they take on North Melbourne at ETU Stadium. Sellers drops an intercept mark. He thumps the ground for dropping the intercept mark. And Ryan might have been illegally held there by Jerine. So here's a look for the Richmond coaching staff at Samson Ryan having a shot at goal. Done a mountain of work in the ruck, as you can see. 14 touches and the 26 hit-outs. For his second goal of the game. Works it back nicely. Good finish, Samson Ryan. The Tigers have the last couple of goals of the game. They've got the last 3 goals of the game. So strong finish from Jack Madgen's side.
I reckon Jack Madgen will be pretty happy with how they've finished it off. I think they're a team that is still trying to figure out how to wrestle back momentum and play their identity when an opposition is getting on top of them. And I think they're working their way through it, obviously, towards the back end of this game with having the last 3 goals of the game. A 50-metre penalty also helps.
So they've cut the margin back to 17 points rather. They've been accurate in front of goal today, the Tigers, 14-5, but Essendon has had an extra 12 scoring shots. They can add another one here. El Noor provided the contest. Eckersley came the mark. Wasn't paid the mark. His flying shot at goal misses the lot. He's still trying mightily hard for that 5th major. Huge fly from Nick Cox. He's had a mighty day, and that is the cherry on top of an excellent performance. And he is pointing at the goals. Yeah, I thought it was unrealistic. Goes short to Binns. And does the team thing, spears it in short, and now Jared Eckersley can have the set shot for a 5th.
I would have liked the theatre of him having that shot.
Yes.
Though. It really would have capped off a nice mark. It's always nice to have that next disposal after a big mark to be a really effective one.
A little bit of self-awareness from him there. Maybe he was reliving the moment in his head and knew that he needed to take a little bit of steam out of the game before he botched his next disposal.
You sense this would be a significant celebration if Jared Eckersley can convert. He's off to the left, and it's sunk thin to the behind post. To the point post, rather. So 15-17 for Essendon. The Tigers will go straight down the middle, but look at all the Essendon jumpers set back, and guess who is waiting to take his 7th intercept mark? Tyler Sellers. Back it goes into the arc. Who's at ground level? Straight for Richmond. El Noor put under the pump. Short kick to Pollux, to McKenzie as the siren sounds. They trailed by 16 points halfway through the second quarter, but a bomber blitz has seen them run away with an 18-point win over Richmond, their 4th win of this 2026 season. On behalf of Drew Jones, Todd Goldstein, and Geordie Allen, this is Ben Waterworth signing off from Windy Hill. The AFL action starts right now on Super Saturday. It's North Melbourne and Gold Coast. And we now throw it to Marvel Stadium and Ben Dixon.
Welcome to Marvel Stadium, North Melbourne hosting the Gold Coast Suns. North looking to bounce back after a belting at the hands of the Crows last week, and the Suns fresh off back-to-back wins from the top end. Welcome to Super Saturday live on Fox, brought to you by Toyota Tundra, ready for everything. We're in the North Melbourne rooms for this beauty to kick Super Saturday off. Adam Simpson, Lee Montagna. I'm actually really looking forward to this contest today.